Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahabiryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. We were looking at the Pratyagatma Adhyaropa, you can say. Initially, we saw how the world itself is superimposed on Brahman. The Srishti Prakriya was discussed. Next, the subject is there. So, object also is superimposed on Brahman. What about the subject? And the subject are I, the Pratyagatma, the inner self. What are all the views about this self of different people, how they are confused? This was presented, starting from having Atma Buddhi on external things like one's son, etc. And even for that, they quoted some Shruti. In fact, this author quoted the Veda like Atma Vai Jayate Putraha for showing that Putra also is Atma. Then, starting from the body, of course, everybody has confusion. The Anna Rasamaya is the body. Most people, in fact, take the body as the Atma. Then, what about the Indriyas? Some people say Indriyas are the Atma. And for that also there is a Shruti quotation is there. Then, no, Indriyas are not Atma. Indriyas cannot function if there is no Prana. So, Prana is the Atma. And for that again, Taittiriya Upanishad quotation is there. Anyontara Atma Pranamaya. But then even Pranamaya is not Atma. Some people say it is the mind. And in the Shruti itself, in fact, it goes on to say Anyontara Atma Manomaya. So there is an Atma which is inner to this Prana, which is the Manomaya Atma. And Manomaya Atma, Manas also is only a Karana. It's an instrument. And who is wielding this instrument? That is the Karta, the doer. So Vijnanamaya is the Karta. So Anyontara Atma Vijnanamaya also is there even in the Shruti. So even inner to the mind is the Vijnanamaya, or the sense of the individual I, you can say. Vijnanamaya is the one who has the intellect, and one who takes oneself as the Karta and Bhokta. But then some people say even this Karta Bhokta is not Atma. The Kartritva Mandal is there in only the Prakriti. Atma is separate. This even Sankhya and all, they say that. So there is Anandamaya also is there even in the Shruti. So there is an inner Atma even to the Vijnanamaya, which is Anandamaya. And based on that, some people say Ajnanam itself is Atma. Ajnana means not Jnana. Yeah. Atma is the Jnana Adhikaranam. Jnana itself is taking place in mind and with the help of Indriyas, etc. But Atma is the Jnana Adhikaranam. It is other than Jnanam. It is Ajnanam only. And Anandamaya also quotation is there for that. But then there is another view of the Bhattas who say that Prajnana Ghana Eva Anandamaya, like that Mandukya quotation also we are having. It is not just Ajnanam, it is also Jnanam. Because Anandamaya is there, but then we get up and say, I had a good night's sleep. Correct? So both Prakasha and Aprakasha are there even in deep sleep. Therefore, I am both. This is one view. Then there are Buddhists are there who actually negate all these other people and say only Shunyam. Nairatmyavadi they are called. They don't accept an Atma. They say only Anatma is there, or Nairatmyam they call it. There is no Atma or Brahman or anything, only Shunya is there. And they even quote Asadeva idamagre asit. So like this, there are so many views about this Atma. So how do you know what is correct? So we have to only take Sharanam in the Shruti. But Shruti itself is quoted here, correct? All the Shruti, what about all the Shruti Vakyams then? Isn't the Shruti itself confusing us? Means this is where we are talking about this Sthula Arundhati Nyaya, correct? Or Shakha Chandra Nyaya and all that. So if you want to show the Arundhati star, you cannot directly show that Arundhati star because it is not very bright. So you have to start with a bright object on the sky. You may even start with the moon, then you go to some other brighter stars, and from there only you can finally show where this Arundhati is. Like this, the Shruti also is starting from the grass and then going subtler and subtler. That's how it is showing. So the author said that all these views, I think we came up to this 133, whatever views which are shown above, all of them, they negate each other in fact. And in this manner only they are all negated. Therefore, whatever has been shown as Atma in these Vakyas, they are all really only Anatma. Putradinam Anatmatvam Uchyate, he said that. So, having said that, first argument is giving is they are negating each other. Okay. And their views are all distortions. Even the Shruti quotations are all not proper. They have been taken out of context. They are all only distortions. That's why it is called Abhasaihi, he says. Okay, Shruti Yukti Anubhav Abhasaihi Atmatva Bada Darshanat, he says. That too what Uttara Shruti Yukta. So the first one is negated by the next one is negated by the next, like that. They are negating each other one by one. There, whatever Shruti and this logic and experience and all they have quoted, they are all only distorted views, fallacious views, you can say, and they negate each other. So from this only it is clear that all whatever has been said as Atma in the previous Vakyas, they are all really Anatma only. Anatmatvam Spashtam. It is very clear, he says. But further he gives some more logic or some more explanation. So he says Kincha Pratyag Asthulaha Achakshuhu Apranaha Amanaha Akarta Chaitanyam Chinmatram Sad Ityadi Prabala Shruti Virodhat Asya Putradi Shunya Paryantasya Jadasya Chaitanya Bhasyatvena Ghatadivata Anityatvat Aham Brahmeti Vidvad Anubhava Prabhalyacha Sattat Shruti Anubhava Bhasana Bhaditatvat Api Putradi Shunya Paryantam Akhilam Anatmaiva. Okay. Putradi Shunya Paryantam Akhilam. Starting from Putra onward, Shunya up to Shunya, all the things which were said, they are all really Anatma only. For that, again, this author is now presenting proper Shruti, Yukti, and Anubhava. And Shruti, what is he talking about? In fact, there are so many Shrutis which are there which negate all these things. And one interesting word he uses is, if you see here, Prabala Shruti, he says. So, because we are also, wherever Shruti quotations have been given, we have to give the proper meaning of those Shruti quotations, and we have to give our own view for supporting that also. We have to give Shruti. And what we are saying is, whatever Shruti quotations we are giving, those are Prabala, they are stronger. They actually negate all these previous Shruti and then finally establish truth is. So like this, here you can see there is a, this is given here, Prabala Shruti. Now, how do you decide what is Prabala? In fact, later on, I think in Vedanta Sara itself, he will talk about that. So whenever we interpret any Shruti Vakya, we have certain linga, we say. Okay, we have certain principles. Based on these Mimamsa principles only, we interpret the Shruti. And what are those principles? The Shad Lingas, we say. Upakrama Upasamharo, Abhyasa Apurvata Phalam, Arthavado Upapatti Cha Lingam Tatparya Nirnaye, like that. There are Upakrama Upasamhara, how it starts, how it ends. What is repeatedly said, Abhyasa, and whether what is said is revealed uniquely by the Shruti, Apurvata, Abhyasa, Apurvata, Phalam, and whatever said as is useful or not. Because Shruti is a deliberate means of knowledge. It cannot tell you something which is useless. Purposelessly, it cannot reveal anything. So Phalam also has to be there. Then, and in that again, if it is using any stories and all that, what is figuratively said also we have to take Arthavada properly, and then Upapatti. Shruti itself gives its own internal logic, okay, to show whatever it is revealing as consistent. Now, all based on all these things only, we can say something is Prabala or not. What is the actual revelation of the Shruti? Whatever the Veda is revealing, how do we know? Means we have to apply all these and then decide. And based on this, when we see Shruti itself says all these things, actually the Pratyagatma is Asthulaha, it is not grass. Why is he saying that Asthula? Because he wants to deny from, of course, the Putra itself he can deny. Even further there can be, because it is called Pratyagatma, it cannot be Bahiratma, correct? Wherever the word Pratyagatma itself actually negates that Atma cannot be one's Putra, etc. But then starting from the Annarasa Mayaha, to negate the Annarasa, this quotation is Astulaha. Atma is not grass, physical. What about Indriya? Means Achakshuhu. It's not any Indriya, in fact. What about Prana? Means Apranaha. Then mind means Amana. It is not mind also. It doesn't have any mind. What about Karta Bhokta? Akarta. Okay, these are all negations. Okay. Then what about, what is the nature of this Atma? Means Chaitanyam, Chinmatram. It is only consciousness. It is pure consciousness. It is a conscious being. And it is Sat. It is existence also. It is the very existence. In fact, its existence alone is borrowed by all the names and forms which we are encountering as this objective world. That alone really exists. Sad. Like this, Ityadi Prabala Shruti Virodhat. So these Shruti Vakyas are having all these words and revealing Atma in this manner. And those Shruti Vakyas, when we analyze it with all the principles, they are Prabala, they are stronger. So they negate all these views. Okay. And therefore, Putra Adi Shunya Paryantasya, all the things starting onwards, right from Putra up to Anandamaya, which is Ajnana, Jadasya, they are all Jada, they are all not really Atma, they are all not Chaitanyam. Chaitanya Bhasyatvena. Also, how can you say it is all Jada? Means simple logic. Whatever you know is not you, correct? Whatever I know is not I. That is the crux of Vedanta, actually. In fact, as a student of Vedanta also, the only sadhana you have to do is to understand that I am not whatever I know. Whatever I know is an object of my knowledge, correct? It is all becoming evident to me. Whatever is evident to me is not I. Therefore, they are all bhasya, means they are all becoming evident to you. They are all objects of your knowledge, all these things. You are the conscious being to whom everything becomes evident. You are that consciousness who knows, for whom everything becomes evident, including Ajnana. Because when you say, I don't know, when Ajnana becomes evident to you only. I know, I don't know. My eyes are seeing, my eyes are not seeing. All these things are known to which consciousness? That is you. That alone is you. Whatever is known by you, they are all bhasya. They are all objects of knowledge. So the biggest Problem is that we take whatever is not I as I. Then the suffering will start. In fact, Pujya Swamiji used to say, he used to take this logic one more level. And he used to say always that normal logic is, I know I am suffering. Okay, I know sorrow, therefore I am sorrowful, I am suffering and all that. Correct? But Vedantic logic is what? I know sorrow means I am not sorrowful because whatever I know is not I. That is our logic. So you have to even take it up to the point where even your own sorrow, suffering, everything is known to you. Even the pain, bodily pain also is known to you. It belongs to body only. It is not your pain, or you are in pain and all that. You are not in suffering, you are not in pain, you are not in anything. All these things become known to you. You are the knower of all these things. That is the sadhana one has to do. One has to do means it has to keep, once you start this, it will happen. It has to be there till it becomes natural to you, sahaja. Till that point, you have to do this. I am not what I know. This has to keep on happening throughout the day, whenever you are awake, and even in dream it may happen then. It has to go deep into you, this insight. Therefore, everything is bhasya, Chaitanya bhasya. You are that chinmatram. You are that consciousness alone. And also all these other things are what? They are anitya, ghatadivat, like even a part, anityatvat. So all the things which you take as yourself, they are all anitya. They are not, they are all in space-time. They are all mortal. They are all subjected to space-time. But Atma is transcending even the space-time. Atma is free from space-time. You are just existence in whom space-time also appears as Namarupa. That is the knowledge. That is what you have to own up to. And that experience also is not something which you don't have. Right? In deep sleep, we know that we are there. We are existent without any space-time. Space-time is not integral to us. In fact, we are not in space-time. Space-time is in me. That is the thing. If you are in space-time, you can never get out of space-time. But even when space-time is not cognized, when the space-time resolves, also I am there. That's I only have to hold on to. That is the I. That is the real I who transcends even the space and time, etc. and is there. You are there. Okay. So you have to understand. That is the important thing. That is that aham brahmeti. So because of all these reasons, I am not all these anitya vastu. Aham nityam brahma, satyam brahma, anandam brahma, anantam brahma, all these things. Aham brahmeti. That's what the Shuddhi is teaching. And not only that, that is also the anubhava of your own gurus. There is a guru shishya parampara. Vidvad anubhava also is there. Those who know, those who are jnanis, they know this, they have this vision clearly. Based on all these things, what? So again, he is giving you Shruti, Yukti and Anubhava. So Shruti is all these things. Astuladi, he quoted. Starting from Astula up to Sat. Because the Buddhist says it is Asat, but Sadeva Saumya Idamagre Asi, Sadeva Satyam, like this. Chandogya Shruti is there. Then the Yukti, Ghatadivat, Anityatvat, all these things are Anitya and they are also Bhasya. They are all known. Whatever is known to you is not you. Whatever I know is not I. These are all Yukti. Then Anubhava is, Vidvad Anubhava is there. The Anubhava of the Jnanis. So based on all these things, what Tattat, Shruti, Yukti, Anubhava, Bhasanam, Bhaditatva. So whatever previously the Shruti, Yukti, Anubhava, which were all quoted, they have been negated. by whatever is said here, the Shruti Yukti Anubhava. Therefore, Putradi Shunya Paryantam Akhilam, everything starting from Putra onward is all Anatma. That is very clear. In fact, here there is a commentary by there is a commentary. There are more than one commentaries for this Vedanta Sara also. Sometimes I refer to the commentaries. So in this place, there is one Ramatirtha, one commentator is there. He has actually given a whole list of quotations where this Astuladi like this, the author, he just says, correct, Astulaha, Chakshuhu and all that. But which are all the actual Shruti Vakyas which are talking about all these things means, he starts, even for the Putra one, he says, Kaschid Dhiraha, Pratyagatmana Maikshati, like this Kathopanishad is there. So some Dhiraha, Dhira Purushaha, Vivekis, those who are discriminatory, they seek this Pratyagatma. Normal people are only involved in the worldly affairs. They are all like looking at things which are external to themselves, correct? Paranchikani Vyatrinat Swayam Bhuhu, Parang Pashyati Nantaratman. Parang Pashyati. Normal people are seeing and enjoying only the sense objects through the senses and take oneself as this embodied consciousness and suffering. But some people want to know what this I is, what this conscious being is really. So Pratyagatma means it is inner self. Therefore, Putra and all is negated by that. That is one quotation. He starts with that. Then the next quotation he gives. What is that? Astulam, Ananuhu, Akhraswam, Adirgham. Like this, there is a Brihadaranyaka quotation is there. Yetad Aksharam Gargi. Like that, there is a in the third chapter of the Brihadaranyaka. In fact, we'll be seeing this later. So the Gargi is asking questions to Yajnavalkya, and then Yajnavalkya answers. So Brahmanaha Abhivadanti, the Brahmanas say what about this self? Astulam, Ananu, Akhraswam, Adirgham, Alohitam, Asneham, Achayam, Amatam. Like this, he keeps on going. So many Amataha, Ava, then Avayu, okay, then Anakasham, Asangam, Arasam, Agandham, Achakshushkam, Ashrotram, Avak, Amanaha, Atejaskam, Apranam, Amukham, Amatram, Anantaram, Abahyam, Natadashnati Kinchana, Natadashnati Kaschana. Like this, the quotation is there. So he is negating everything. Yajnavalkya negates literally everything here. Okay. He is negating whatever is said here is negated in that one Vakya only, I think. But our commentator only takes the this part, that Achakshuhu and all that. Okay. Then let us see. Next one, what is he saying? Apranahi amanaha shubhraha. Then he quotes. This is Mundaka Shruti. So Mundaka clearly says it is aprana, apranaha. It is not prana. It is not mind also. Okay. Apranahi amanaha. That is for the prana. In fact, there is also another Yattad Adreshyam, Agrahyam, Agotram, Avarnam, Achakshushrodram, Tad Apani Padam Yet Nityam Vibhum Sarvagatam Susukshmam. These two quotations are there. They are denying that it doesn't have any Apani Padam and all that also. It's not body, it is not Indriya, it is not Prana also. Okay. Then some more he quotes. Anantascha Atma Vishwarupaha hi Akarta. So Atma is not Karta. Vijnanamaya also is gone. Ananta Vishwarupaha Akarta. Nacha Asti Vetta Mama Chit Sadaham. This is another quotation he is giving. This is all Kaivalya Upanishad. So there is nobody who knows this Atma because it is never a known object. Okay, it cannot be objectified by the mind. And it is always pure Chaitanyam. So it is not Ananda Maya also. It is not a modification of Ananda. It is not like Ananda Prachurya and all that. It is Ananda Swarupa. That is different. We'll see that. But Anandamaya also is negated because it cannot be known. Ignorance is known to us. Ignorance may be bliss, but it is still a known thing. But this Atma can never be an object of your knowledge. Therefore, he quotes that to negate this Anandamaya also. Then, what about this Asad? In fact, he gives one more quotation. Chinmatraha aham sadashivaha. I am only this Chinmatra, pure, and I am Sadashiva, always auspicious. So this, the others, some people quoted that Atma is both Chaitanyam and also not Chaitanya, correct? Ajnana and Jnana, Pata. That also is negated by saying that it is Chinmatraha. Okay. Chit Sadaham also, previous quotation was there. That also actually negates. Then finally, Asat means Sadeva Somya Idamagre Asit Satyam Sa Atma Sadeva Satyam. All these quotations are there from Chandogya. But he is not happy with this. Why? Because the Adi Pada also is there. Putra Adi or whatever. Shruti. Here Adi. Okay. Adi is there. Chinmatram Sad Ityadi Prabala Shruti Virodhat, he says. So Adi Padat, he gives one more set of quotations now for all the same thing. Yesha Sa Atma Sarvantaraha. So it is Sarvantaraha, it is the innermost. Means again Putra is not Atma. Ashariram Sharireshu. Like this, there is a Shruti Vakya is there. It is the Ashariri. Amongst all the Sharira, it is not the one actually. It is not a Sharira. Then Pranasya Pranam, Uta Chakshushas Chakshuhu, Uta Shrotrasya Shrotram. This is all again Brihadaranyaka. And similar Shruti is there in Kenopanishad also, correct? Shrotrasya Shrotram, Manaso Mano, Vachoha Vacham, Sau Pranasya Pranaha. That is Kenopanishad. Kena Prana Pratama Praiti Yuktaha. All these things are there in Kenopanishad. So it is not Prana, it is not, it is Prana of Prana, eye of the eye, ear of the ear, like that. And also Taittiriya Upanishad is there. Yato Vacho Nivartante Praapya Manasa Saha. So it is not mind. Na karoti na lipyate. Bhagavad Gita also quotation is there. So this Atma doesn't do, and it is not caught in anything. Then Sakshi Cheta Kevalo Nirgunascha Shweta Sutra Upanishad. So this Atma is purely a Nirguna Atma. It is Sakshi, it is Cheta, it is Kevalaha. Means it alone is there really, and it is Nirguna. Then Kritsnaha Prajnana Ghana Eva. It is Prajnana Ghana. It is not Ajna. There is no taint of any Ajnanam in that. So this is also Brihadaranyaka quotation. Kritsnaha Prajnana Ghanaha Eva. Santamenantato Viduriti. Like this, there is a Taittiriya quotation also. Like this, there are so many Shruti Vakyas that Ramatirtha, he gives two sets of Shruti Vakyas to show that Atma is none of these things. Correct? Starting from Putra up to Shunya. So sometimes it's good to read the commentaries. We come to know of all these things. Although I could have also thought about this and come with some of them, but we don't have the memory of our earlier, all the Vedikas who were there. They had phenomenal memory, correct? They did not really carry any books. Today, at least, we have the ability to carry all these PDF in one small phone also. But still, we have to look into that. But they memorized everything. They did only that for many years, right from their childhood. And later on, they had this ability, amazing ability to read something once and just retain it. That kind of Medha Shakti is not there anymore. At least 99% of us do not have. We all started late. We remember certain things. That's all. Whatever is relevant, whatever is required to understand the subject matter, that must, if we remember, that is good enough. So anyway, so he gives all this list. So based on all these things, we know that This Atma is Chaitanyam alone. So further what? Ataha, therefore, Tattad Bhasakam Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Satya Swabhavam Pratyak Chaitanyam Eva Atma Atma Vastu iti Vedanta Vidvat Anubhavaha. So he finally summarizes that. What is that? Therefore, what? From based on all these things, Shruti Yukti Anubhava I have given. Whatever is known, all this, right from Putra up to Shunya, etc. Tattat Bhasakam. It is the Chaitanyam. Atma is the one which shines all these things. It is the shiner. All these things are shining after the Atma. They become evident to Atma. They are not Atma. And what kind of Atma is this which is shining the light on all these other things? It is Nitya. It is eternal. It is not subjected to time. Eternal means not long time. It is basically free from space-time. Shuddha, it is pure. It is Buddha, it is all knowledge. It is already free from everything. Mukta, it is Satyam. It is the only thing which really exists. Everything else is a Karya. It is alone. The Karana, being the Karana of everything, it is Satya. It's the only thing which really exists. Everything else is Mithya. So that is the Swabhava of this Atma. All these words reveal to us the nature of this Atma, and it is Pratyak Chaitanyam. It is the innermost conscious being. That alone is Atma. None of these other things which are all Bhakya, which are all known objects, they are all not Atma. So that alone is Atma Vastu. Pratyak Chaitanyam eva Atma Vastu iti Vedanta Vidvad Anubhavaha. So those who know the Vedanta, those who know the Sampradaya, those who have studied and come in this Guru Parampara, they all know this clearly and they teach that also. That only they are teaching. So evam adhyaropaha. So with this, the adhyaropa prakaranam is over. Because two types of adhyaropa have been shown here. You have to remember. One is the whole world itself is superimposed on this Chaitanyam. Next is the entire subjective realm, right from body onwards up to the Anandamaya also is superimposed on this same Chaitanyam. That alone is there. In fact, it is the basis for both the subject and object. It is the only reality. The subject object itself comes and goes. It has no reality, in fact. It's not intrinsic to you. So that's what we have to understand. This entire thing, the world of subject and object, this duality, it's all only adhyaropa. It is all superimposition. It's all only an appearance in this Chaitanyam. It doesn't make any difference to this Chaitanya. So now having seen this adhyaropa, now it has to be negated. Why did we even introduce all these things only to negate it? Because we have to account for all these things. Straight away, I can't teach you the Atma Tattvam or Advaita. To teach Advaita, first I have to account for the experience of duality. Correct? Everybody is seeing duality. Therefore, whatever we see, whatever misconceptions are there, all of those things have to be accounted for. That's why we talk about first the adhyaropa and then we negate that. Apavadaha, we have to do now, negation. So apavado nama. What is this apavada? What is known as apavada is what? Rajju vivartasya sarpasya Rajju matratva vat vastu vivartasya avastunaha ajnanadehe prapanchasya vastu matratvam. Okay, so what is this apavada? What is known as apavada is like even the sarpa, the snake, which is nothing but a appearance on rope, correct? So why we say Rajju Vivartasya is normally when we talk about Karana Karya, there can be even Parinami Upadana Karana, correct? When you talk about curd, the milk becomes curd means it really becomes curd, correct? It modifies. That is called Parinama. But when we say the rope has become the snake, it has not really become. It's only appearing. That's why we say it is Vivarta. Vivarta means it doesn't lose its very nature. Swarupa aparityagena rupantara apattihi. Like that we say, or vivarta. Means without giving up one's own Swarupa, it takes up another form. That is the vivarta. So the rope, with being rope only, it appears as snake. And that snake is nothing but rope really. The snake, once you know the rope, the snake vanishes into the rope, we have to say. Similarly, this Chaitanyam alone is there, Vastu. But it appears as all this Avastu, this entire subject-object world. Okay, the objective world and the subjective world. Everything is only this Vastu, starting from Ajnana, etc. This entire prapancha, this entire universe, it includes both the subject and object. And they are all what? They all vanish. Once you know your own Swarupa, you only see Vastu Matram alone is there, Vastu Matratvam. They are all really only this Chaitanya Vastu, because that alone is Satyam. These are all only just appearances. They don't really count. That is what one has to see. That is the Apavada. So knowing this entire world, including the subject, as nothing but this Chaitanyam, that is the Apavada. Like even knowing the snake as rope. Snake is nothing but rope. Similarly, all that you see here, including your body, mind, sense complex, is nothing but this Chaitanyam alone. And that has been said. Taduktam satatvataha anyatha pratha vikaraha udiritaha atatvataha anyatha pratha vivartaha iti udiritaha. So he is quoting here. In fact, I could not locate from where this quotation is, because even in some books when I referred, even they said that they cannot locate this quotation. It must be in some Purvacharya's book only. But what is said here is very simple. He says, when something really becomes another, like the milk becoming curd, satatvataha means what? In reality. Anyatha pratha means it is taking another form. That is called vikara or modification, like the milk modifies into curd. But atatvataha anyatha pratha means not really. It doesn't really become or take up another form, but it appears in another form. That is called vivarta. So vikara and vivarta, we have to understand the difference. I already told you that. So swarupa parityagena rupantara apatti is vikara. Means it gives up one's own nature, swarupa, and becomes another. That is swarupa parityagena. Swarupa aparityagena rupantara apatti is vivarta. Like that also we can say. Therefore what? Tatahi etad bhoga ayatanam chaturvidha sakala sthula sharira jatam bhogya rupa annapanadikam etad ayatana bhuta bhuradi chaturdasha bhuvanani etad ayatana bhutam brahmandam cha etad sarvam etesham karana rupam panchikrita bhuta matram bhavati. So now again the author is summarizing here. Okay, he is saying he started with 4 types of bodies and all that, correct? Andajam, Jarayujam, Svedajam and all that. So there are 4 types of Chaturvida Sakala Stula Sharira Jatam. Okay, so Stula Sharira itself is born in 4 ways. 4 types are there based on the different types of beings are there, living beings. Okay, so 4 types of bodies. Fine. Which are nothing but the Bhoga Ayatana, we say. Okay. So they are all the seats or the locus where you enjoy something, all these bodies. And what do you enjoy? Bhogya Rupa Anna Panadikam. The entire the external world, objective world, which is all in the form of Bhogya or whatever is enjoyed or whatever is experienced. You can say more than enjoying something. Sometimes we don't enjoy it really. We only experience it. It may not be enjoyable. But whatever you experience, Bhogya, And what is that? Annapanadi, starting from food, drink, etc. Okay. So the body is the bhoga ayatanam, and it enjoys in the form of bhogya. Whatever you experience, all these food, different kinds of food, drink, etc. are there, which are the objects of enjoyment, you can say, or experience. These are there. Okay. Four kinds of physical bodies and whatever it experiences. And again, in that, what are all there? Bhuta, Bhuradi. So, in fact, whatever we enjoy itself is in the form of what? Bhuradi Chaturdasha Bhuvanani. They are again 14 worlds are there, which are all Bhogya for us. This earth is only one, which is Bhuloka. Then there are 6 more above, 7 more down. Correct? Bhuhu, Goha, Swaha, Mahaha, Tapaha, Janaha, Satyam. Or Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Rasatala, Talatala, Mahatala, Patala. All these things are there. 14 totally. Bhuvanas, Lokas. There are 14 worlds or planes or whatever. It's difficult to translate in English all these things. But 14 places where you have different types of experiences are there. These bhuvanas are there. Etad ayatana bhutam. Okay. Brahmandam. And also all these things only is the universe. Okay. The objects of enjoyments themselves are there in these 14 lokas, starting from Bhu onwards. And then again, this entire thing is the Brahmanda, is the universe, which contains all these 14 lokas also. And all these things are what finally? Because this Adhyaropa Prakarana, what did we present? We said that they are all from this Panchabhutas only. Okay, because their Karana is nothing but the Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apa, Prithvi. These 5 elements, we have a 5 elemental model. So all these things are elementals. Okay, they are all made up of these elements, and those elements alone are cause, because these are all karya. So Brahmandam cha etat sarvam etesham karana rupam panchikrita bhuta matram. So these are all nothing but this panchikritam also, because it's all mixed up. If you take the gross world, it is a mix up of all these 5 tanmatras, we say. The bhutas alone are there first, but then they mix up between themselves and then create the gross mahabhutas, and they only then become all this gross world and all that. Okay, so panchikritam also is there. Panchikrita bhuta matram. So if you take the gross world, it is all nothing but the panchikrita bhuta matram, and that is the karana for that. Then from there again we have to go further. What is that? Etani Shabdadi Vishaya Sahitani Panchikritani Bhutani Sukshma Sharira Jatam Cha Etat Sarvam Etesham Karana Rupa Apanchikrita Bhuta Matram Bhavati. So all these gross physical world are nothing but the Panchikrita Bhutas, because that is the Karana for this physical world. But the Panchikrita Bhutas themselves, which are in the form of, which also include all the Shabda Guna and all that. Okay, Shabda, because each of the gross elements have their own guna. Akasha has Shabda Guna. Then Vayu has Shabda and Sparsha also. Agni has Shabda Sparsha Rupa. And water has Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa. And Prithvi, earth has Shabda Sparsha Rupa Rasa Gandha also. Okay, so Akasha has sound as a quality. Vayu has sound and touch. Okay, wind. Then fire is something we can see also. So it has a form. It also has sound. It can be touched. It can be seen. Then water can also be tasted along with the other 3. And earth also can be smelt. It has fragrance. Like this, all these gunas are also there. So Shabdadi Vishaya Sahitani, they include all this Shabda, etc., sense objects. And all these Panchikrita Bhutas themselves with all these gunas, they are all born from the Sukshma Sharira, they are all born from the subtler body or subtler elements. So therefore, all these things, etat sarvam etesham karana rupa apanchikrita bhuta matram. So this panchikrita bhutas themselves are nothing but apanchikrita bhutas, the ones which are unmixed, tanmatra we say, they themselves alone. The pure pancha mahabhutas which have not mixed with each other yet. Separately, if you see, they only. Okay, that is their karana. And so like this, we are now going back. Yeah, we are looking into the karana to show that karana alone is satyam. All karya is mithya. So apanchikrita bhutas alone. These panchikrita bhutas are. Then further what? Etani sattva guna sahitani apanchikritani utpatti vyutkramena etat karana bhuta ajnana upahita chaitanya matram bhavati. So even this apanchikrita bhutas, the mahabhutas, akashadi, they have all these trigunas in themselves. So they are all actually, they have this sattva, rajas, tamas as their constituents. And these bhutas also, what they are born from where, if you ask. So utpatti, vyutkramena. So they are all born from somewhere. Where? Okay. So we are now going the reverse order. From the gross to the subtler, their karana like that. That is the reverse order of creation. Utpatti vyutkramena means we are going in the reverse order. If you go and see what is that, the karana bhuta for these apanchikrita mahabhutas is nothing but ajnana upahita chaitanyam. The chaitanya which is conditioned by ajnana or maya, that alone is the karana for that. Then you go further, one step further. What is that? Etad ajnanam, ajnana upahitam chaitanyam cha ishwaradikam etad adhara bhuta anupahita chaitanya rupam turiyam brahma matram bhavati. Okay, next is what? We are going backwards. Okay. So this ignorance, etad ajnanam, then ajnana upahitam chaitanyam, and the consciousness which is associated with it, which is all called by different names like Ishvara, etc. Okay, because we have already seen all the names which are given also by the Upanishads for all this Upahita Chaitanya, Ishvara, Taijasa, Hiranyagarbha, all these things. Okay, Prajnaha, Ishvara and Prajnaha, Hiranyagarbha, Taijasa, then Virat, and then we have the one who is actually cognizant of the conscious, this external world. All these things, different names are there. So he just gives Ishwaradikam. He says Ishvara, etc., which is known by all these names. And for all that, what is the Adhara Bhuta? What is the basis? All these things are also appearances only. Where are they appearing means is Anupahita Chaitanya Rupam. The unconditioned consciousness alone is finally the Karana. But whatever Karya which is produced is all Mithya. Therefore, from the standpoint of the Karya, we say Anupahita Chaitanyam is a Karana, but from its own standpoint, it's not even a Karana for anything, because nothing is really born. From the standpoint of snake, we say rope is the Karana for snake. But for the person who does not see the snake at all, if you go to him and say, no, this rope is the cause for the snake I saw. The other person is, I did not see any snake at all. What are you talking about? This rope is not the karana for anything. It is rope. It is rope only. It is as it is. So from its own standpoint, it is not even a karana for anything. Understand that the karanatvam also becomes mithya. The karanatvam we are talking about only from the standpoint of the appearing world. Therefore, the Chaitanyam is Anupahita Chaitanyam is as it is. It is unconditioned Chaitanyam, and it is from this standpoint of all these three shariras, it is called fourth and all that. Even that fourth is meaningless. It is the only thing which is there. Understand that. And Brahma Matram, it is Brahman alone. That's why this fourth also is meaningless. Some people use the word Turiya Tita also. That which transcends Turiya also means, basically it transcends all counting. Okay, Turiya Tita word also is there. Sometimes they use. So it is Brahman alone. Brahman alone is there. Brahma Matram Bhavati. So that is the truth. That alone is reality. So once you go back in the reverse order, you see that Brahman alone is the Karanam. Brahmatma is the Karana for everything, and that alone is the reality. All these things are only appearances, Adhyaropa, and they are all negated by seeing the Karana in a certain sequence. Correct? You see the Karana of this. Finally, Brahman alone is there. It is not caused. It is the uncaused cause of everything. Therefore, you cannot go further. That alone is the cause of everything. That is Satyam. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. And that is what one has to know as oneself. That is the teaching. Further, we will see next week. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.